All right, what's up? How we doing? It's your boy Joaquin right here. Just wanted to take a minute out and do a little review on something I found on I believe it was one of the apps. I'm not sure exactly. I think it was Close Five. Um, and I've actually looked for a tutorial on this on YouTube. I didn't really find anything, and um, I'm kind of a big fan of the small little mixer amps because they seem to be somewhat indestructible. Uh, Not sure if any of you are familiar with Pyle. And I was not familiar with Pyle whatsoever. But I figure it's just another one of those brands that is probably just as good out there as many other brands, just due to the fact that there's just a lot less, um, and most of the time you figure out why it is less in value, one reason or another. Um, there are certain amps that are a little designed for different things. I'm gonna take a look at the side here. Um, Take a look at the back here. Your standard power out and speaker A output, speaker B. You got your stereo return, send, which are really cool. I've had a few different power amps. This isn't exactly feather. This is probably a good 25 pounds maybe. So I kind of take into account that it's got a pretty nice handle. It's kind of square box. So I take into account that it does have a nice little weight to it. It's got a nice little weight to it, so there is an amp in there. All right. Real quick, let me take a look at some of the features. There's 4 channels here, and the good thing about this is that it has both Xlr and quarter-inch. It's got an effect. Okay, it's got some of the effects down here, and it says echo, so it doesn't, which tells me it's not a reverb unit. It's kind of echo and delay, and so it's not necessarily, just it. And I've tried it with the mic, and it just kind of gives you. You kind of have to bring it up all the way, and it just kind of gives you a little bit of a karaoke kind of feeling. Um, so XLR, quarter-inch. Um, the gain, usually the gain knob on a mixer is just that, it's gain. So it's kind of what it's doing is that this is a gain on the top of the mixer, just like on a Mackie or a Behringer or whatever, your typical mixer. And kind of this master here is what is the kind of the overall. So you got to know your mixer. They're kind of, this little mixer is putting about 2 or 3 different things in one. If you notice, it doesn't have any mids. It's got effects. It's got the treble. It's got the bass, which you also kind of have to bring up, and with the gain, kind of have to bring it up, and kind of have to like fidget with the master as well, because it's it helps, especially when you're trying to put vocals in this one. Uh, I I don't know. I did try a little karaoke with this, and it did give me some good audio out, but the vocals needed a lot of mixing. As you can tell, I have a piece of tape right there um, that says that the mids need to be down, somewhat. Um, if if this were just if this did not have a piece of EQ on it, then it would probably sound like Dookie. All right. Good thing about this, it does have a CD in. It says CD tape, huh? This must be a little older model. But it does have the MP3. I mean the quarter-inch connection. So they're with it on that. It's got an out, so now it has two outs. It also has another in, so you can put maybe you could play along with your tracks if you're a guitar player or karaoke, right? You wouldn't be able to get a good mix on it though. I was putting it in one of these channels. If you're using just a couple of 10-inch speakers, I did notice that I had to bring the bass and the high up. This is without a subwoofer. With a subwoofer, you can make anything sound good with a subwoofer. As a matter of fact, with a little, if you are DJing or karaokeing, I would definitely recommend it. If you're in a live, this is, I'm not particularly sure what this is for, because the microphones, you don't have a mid-range. I mean, this is your mid-range here, and I really had to fidget with it, man, to really get a nice clear sound that wouldn't feedback, and but and then you have to arrange these in order for your vocals, right? But then consequently you have to arrange these for your music mix. Okay, it's doable, sure, and I've done it before. It did give me a little bit of a headache. Let's go to the back, and that's about it for the front here. It's I really dig it. Also, the master, I had to really kind of bring this up all the way. Honestly, I mean, I brought it up to to what is that, 3 o'clock. But honestly, you need to give it a go. You really need to give it a go here. I just did that to be safe. And the microphones usually, the microphone, they got to be about right here as well. So you really have to give it all she's got, Captain. And then my karaoke, let's say if I put an iPod in here, right here, you give it right here, maybe give it a little go. The iPod, it gives it real nice punch, to play music, just to play music through here, and to EQ just the music. If you're playing just music out of here and a couple of 10-inch decent speakers, or even even a lower brand type of speakers. I have a pair of, I believe it's called Harbingers. I picked those up because they seem pretty solid, for a lower price. And basically read up on this, and it states, it doesn't say here, but it says that it has 150 watts at a 4 ohms. So what this tells me is that there is, if something says 4 ohms out of a mixer, powered mixer like this, that means that there is 1 amp, that you're running this mono. You're not running it stereo, because it would probably say 8 ohms. So once you split an amp, there's 1 amp in here, and then you split it into 2, now you're shooting 4 ohms. 4 ohms. It's kind of like if you were to shoot 1 out and then daisy chain it to another speaker, right? Coming out of this would be 8 ohms, and when you daisy chain it to another speaker, it becomes 4 ohms, and you lose some of the power, and in a sense, to what the durability of the speaker can contain. Like I said, this is not exactly light. This has got to be at least 25 pounds or so. And another good thing is that actually we were talking about the reverb earlier, right? You can put in your own reverb, okay? And the good thing is that this also has a send, so you can line it out to a house, to a monitor. I usually line it out to a powered monitor that I have, because there's no power coming out of this effects loop. And once again, you might want to do your own research on Pyle audio. I know I've done some research, and they mostly have a lot of like car amps and whatnot, for the money. Actually, I think it said you can buy this at Walmart for about $150. One thing it does say in the front here, it does say 400 watts. I'm not exactly sure if anybody can help me out with that, because I don't necessarily believe there's 400 watts coming out of here, because you really got to blast this out. Maybe it's 400 watts